Hello everyone, how's everyone doing today? Again a disclaimer, it's morning here. My brain doesn't work in the morning, so this might go a little bit slower than it's supposed to. Uh alright, so last time we did our React stuff, right? Last time we made it so that we actually get the habits from the server, that we can actually add a habit and it adds it to the server, right? So it's all connected to the database. I guess I could actually go and open Surrealist as well, right? We've got habit, we just got our new habit in here. And I can't zoom anymore. Sorry about that. But yeah, that's pretty much it. So now we can continue. So the plan for today would be to basically add the ability to log new entries, which means that in the database, we need to add some kind of spot for history, add it to our regular query so that our checkboxes will start checking off, and some kind of, I guess, a little bit more complex dialog box where we can put an entry for today or maybe some other day, and that's pretty much it. We'll see where we go, how far we can go, because beyond that, the only thing left is really to implement details, and for that we'll need, I guess, React Router to start making separate pages, and I don't know if we're gonna get there today. But first of all, I noticed that, we have a bunch of those warnings every time we start up, so maybe we can tackle them one by one. We'll walk backwards, okay? First of all, we have invalid DOM property class. Where is it? Doesn't tell us where. Just that we have class somewhere. So yeah, let's search for class. Come on. Class is, and we have it in here. Look at that, new habit. Class name, save, and when we refresh, the problem is gone. Okay. Now we have the for loop. Did you mean HTML4? Ooh. What is HTML4 in React? That's the question. HTML4. DOM APIs. Let's do this. Let's just select this part and ask AI. How about that? I'm getting the, come on, in React. We'll just paste it and let's see what happens. So this error occurs when you use for attribute on a label element in JSX. In HTML, label uses for to associate with form controls, but JSX uses HTML4 instead. So this causes error. We have label for this. Oh, we just specify HTML4 and that's it. Okay, so this sounds like something from our node dialog, but maybe the dialog. I think we have two instances of that thing. So let's look at the dialog. We have label and we have for, all right? For HTML, save it and let's see. Refresh. Huh. HTML4, sorry. Okay, we solved another problem. And Carla says hi. Hello to you too. How are you doing? And lastly, we have the repeated problem with the unique key prop. And check the render method of habit visualization. So let's revisit that because it's been a while. And maybe we'll make a better sense of that this time. Oh, I think I know what's going on. Because we have like 2 for loops here and other stuff. So in our habit, we have not only the iteration from left to right to create our checkboxes, but in larger elements, we can put many rows of it, right? Because of our change the target row count in our habit card, right? I'll say that we need 3 rows. Oh, I made 13 by accident. We have all of those. So we need to basically make sure that each one has a unique key. And Karlova says, can you ask me general JavaScript questions? Like no frameworks. Oh, you're prepping for JS stuff? I am not good at that. I haven't done that kind of stuff. Let me think. Standard JavaScript questions. Okay, so question number 1. When let's say you have an object and you want to destructure it to extract few specific elements out of that object, but you want to also rename them. How would you approach that? You have your object, something, and maybe that something has few things like A, B, and C. No, not through DOM. Just in your normal JavaScript, you have A, which is hello. You have B, which is maybe 1, 2, 3, and you have D, which is maybe whatever, voila, right? Or maybe just an empty object. You have your object, and what you want to do is you want to end up having something like string variable or what a string value, which will be hello, and you want to have maybe object value, which is something. So you want to extract those 2 values. So you want to extract this value and you want to extract this value. You want to use destructuring. Okay, so I'll give you an answer for this one. So if you want to extract those 2 values, you would do simply, hey, I want A, which I will rename to string value. And I want D, which I will rename object value. And they will come from something. There you go. Thank you. Beginner-friendly questions. We'll probably encounter some in the code in a second. Then I'll be able to kind of hint on something. But yeah, overall, destructuring, that's something you'll see so much. So I will recommend looking strongly into destructuring, because you have that, you either have destructuring of lists and whatnot. It's everywhere. And it saves you a lot of time. All right. So we were looking at habit card. It just uses habit visualization. In our habit visualization, which is here, we need to figure out why we don't have unique keys. Because by the time we actually put something in, we use unique key. And unique key is a habit name and current entry index. While the current entry index is based on the last entries. I mean, how many entries there are minus entry index. Ah, I see. So basically repeat them instead of having one large thing. So what we should do instead, do we use this current index somewhere else? Yes, we do. So something like that, like this should be here. Not just current entry index, but we also need to, maybe just throw in the row index and call it a day. How about that? It's morning. I don't feel like thinking too much. Refresh, and we still have a problem. Of course we do. If else. And a question for you, Karlover. I just had something on my mind and now I forgot. What the heck? Just about I'm going to ask it to you. Let's say you have two lists. We have list A, which will be 1, 2, 3, 4. And you have list B, which is, I don't know, A and B. How would you combine them into a single list? Let's say you need combined list. How would you combine it into a single list? So you can think on that answer. I will continue on. So the problem here is we don't know why we get this thing. So what I would do is let's do random console log whenever we're printing, whatever, re-rendering. It shouldn't happen too much. Will be index larger equals 0 and unique key is let's make it into proper type of string. Unique key. All right, I'm gonna do the same thing here. The only thing is, sorry about that. I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. And Karlover said using the .concat method. Well, let me actually look up this method. Because, to be honest, it's not something I had to do a lot. JS concat, and we have only array concat. The method of array instances is used to merge two or more arrays. This method does not change the existing arrays, but instead returns a new array. Okay, awesome. Great. So that increases, does that. That's beautiful. So yeah, in our example, we would have simply list a.concat, right? That's what they want. Yeah. List b. And it doesn't modify it, which is usually what we want. So now question number 2. We'll stay with those list subjects, but let's say you need to have you need one-liner. With our concat, how would you do it? That will be your next question, to find a different method. Because I would like you to make let list C, and as a result, it should look like this. It should be 1, 2, 3, 4. Will be hello world, and then will be the other list. Okay? Let's imagine that you need to not only concatenate those two lists, but throw in hello world in the middle. So you're kind of doing more. How would you do that in a single line? You didn't get it? So this thing here, you want to concatenate not only those two lists, but the idea is that in a single line, you should be able to end up with this, where you have the elements of the first list A, you have two additional elements in the middle, and you have the elements of the list of the right. Right? Something like that. Try to do that in a single line. Alrighty. So in here, we will print those out, and that should give us an idea of what is going on. So let's do reset. So what we're doing is unique key. Look at that. They reset. So we have a second one of that. Because, I see. So notice how when we create a unique key, we want to put in habit name. But we don't have the habit name for some reason. By default, it goes to nothing. I see. And in habit list, we don't set habit name. We're setting habit name. There we go. So we refresh. And in theory, it's better. But again, we get it twice. I guess because it tries to mount each element twice. And we don't get the middle one either. Row index. I mean, we have row index here, right? So why wouldn't it read it? Why do we have 2 dashes? And Karlover says, yeah, you want a list C as a result. So what the hell is going on? Why don't we see the row index being actually inserted? very strange. Or am I missing something? Yeah, we're literally missing that middle section. Huh. Yep, I did not expect that. And this shows a different color because local variable. These show different because I guess it's one of those. Huh. I must say this is a strange bug. Let me grab this whole thing and ask AI because I'm getting confused. Let's do new chat. Why am I getting whatever? I have the following React code. Okay, let's give it here. Why are my logs missing the row index values? And we'll just copy this thing because this confuses me greatly. And Catlover says, let's see, replace 30 hello world. Let's see, replace. Wait a moment. You want to have list C created. So I would do something like, hey, put in list A, add hello, add world, and here put in list B. And now you've got something like this. I mean, you're replacing some of the elements. That's fine, but it will be, list C is empty, so you can't replace. I can run this code right now, but this will be your console log. Use spread operator. So you create a new list, right? That's why those brackets are. So we're creating a new list. We insert elements of a list A, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, right? We insert element, hello, we insert element world, and then we insert with a spread operator elements of list B. And you end up with this, and it's very readable because you see exactly what's going on. Alrighty, so okay. So did AI help us or not really? Looking at your code and logs, the row index values aren't missing. They're all 0. Your logs show. Oh, we are doing that. We just have double dashes for some reason. Oh, because this is negative. Oh, I'm so stupid. Thank you, AI, for pointing out how stupid I am. This is actually helpful. Like I mentioned, mornings are tough for my brain. Okay, so we've got all those. No idea why it still is upset about unique key prop. Oh, wait. Because each one of those rows is in a separate container, isn't it? Because we push the checkboxes, right? But then at the end, we push entire row. And it's the row that doesn't have the index. Ha. So we can do here, which will be row key, which will be habit name, row index, and that's all we need, I think. Key is, come on, row and row key. That should solve the issue. Refresh. Yes, we have no more issues. So let's get this ugly logging out of here. I know this is not the most optimal thing. There are ways to optimize it, but not necessary here. Refresh and beautiful, no errors. Lovely. Okay, so now we can move on to more stuff. And did I know I will replace? Yes, we have replace. We can look up documentation. All right, replace for array, not string. Array. Or unless this one wasn't from array itself. What the hell was replace? Because there's for a string. Yeah, for a string. Symbol replace, that wouldn't be it. Yeah. I don't know. I guess I haven't seen it when it comes to arrays, but it looks like it doesn't exist for arrays. We have for string, but that's pretty much it. Yeah, we can take a string and replace this with that. That's fine. So, yeah. That's where we're getting replaced from. You can link documentation if you want. Alrighty. So we've got this one. So now we need to. Oh, I just realized we need to add description to the new habit so that when we create a new habit, we actually provide description. That's one thing we don't have. So let's actually work on that. Let's look at our CSS. We have an option of putting in a text box, right? So for multiple lines, user input, use the text area element instead. There we go, text area. So we're gonna expand our dialog. Yep. We have our habit name. And then we're gonna throw in the other one. So this is a field row. Do I need field row for this thing too? How'd they do it? Field row stacked. Oh, that's fun. I like that. All right. Let's see that. Okay, so we have our field row here. Style, I don't know. We'll see if we need any margins. I guess we will have to. Because we have the button under there anyway. This will be new description. So this will be the description. And 8 rows. Let's go for 6 rows and see what happens. Okay, I mean, that looks beautiful. Wow. And I want to go the classic way of throwing in a colon at the end. Oh, that looks so Windows 98. Beautiful. So we've got this, but now we need to get a value from it, which I would expect that is very simple thing. Value and on chain. All right. And let's just throw it in here. And I guess we should kind of tidy it up because right now it's absolutely disgusting. Alrighty. And we'll do the same thing here. Can I just select all the spaces? There we go. And I think we can just close it this way. And it should still work, right? Yeah, perfect. And again, we have 4 in class that we need to fix. So we have HTML4. And we have class name. So I guess in development mode, it just worked. And that's it. Okay, so add new habit. So right now, we, I guess, have the same thing in both, right? Yeah, that's not what we want. We want to make it that this will be not habit name. This will be habit description. And then set habit description. And these will be coming from somewhere in here. Habit description starts as an empty value. Beautiful. We can do all that, and then we can update our code that will actually save it. So here we have handle new habit click. Oh, wait a moment. On change, set habit description. Okay, we're good. So I guess this will work now, right? We can actually type in. Beautiful. All right. But when we save, where do we save? We have our mutate, save habit. Where are we calling it? Here, handle new habit click. Okay, we need to provide not just habit name, but habit description to be habit description. And save habit was here, which is the habit mutation, which comes from the parent. Because for some reason we decided that we're gonna keep it here for the sake of exercise, right? Save mutation, it accepts habit name and habit description. Okay, and now we'll add a description, which will be here. And that should get to the server. Let's just make sure that our server actually receives it. So go away. We have our roots for the habit, and on post habit, right now we extract the habit name. So now we can also extract the habit description. There we go, D and N, description. So we wait for this, and basically we'll have name, comma, description is description. And now we just need to actually add it here. Description is habit description. Okay, that should save it to the database. We are not displaying it yet. This will be displayed in the details page. But let's see if it actually works. So let's just restart to have everything loaded properly. Add a habit. Will be eat breakfast. Okay. Breakfasts matter. Okay. We add it. We have our eat breakfast, right? But in a database, let's see if we actually have. Yes, description exists. Beautiful. Okay. Worked. We're all good. And we have some kind of bot added. Oh no. Please go away. Huh. Very interesting. Okay, so now we have all this fixed. We have our description. So now we can, I guess, go on and add a way to add an entry. So I can imagine it showing up as another dialog box where we can put in a date and we can say yes or no. So I guess this is a good moment to think how we want to approach it. Because we can approach it from the perspective of we display only the days that we actually had the habit confirmed, or we display it as like 3 states of no entry, yes entry, and no entry. I mean, lack of entry, as in we don't have entry for that day at all. And then when we add entry, we can say, did you succeed? Did you fail? And we actually record that answer rather than complete lack of it. Right now, our display here is designed to actually work in a way of having yes and no values. You can see that they're all grayed out because simply there was no answer on any of the on the last days. So maybe we'll try to do that. We'll make it unique. You put in an entry no matter if you succeeded or failed, and it's gonna be weird like that. I know it's a weird choice, but I want to see what happens. I want to deal with those missing days because it's a fun challenge. So we basically need to show up a box where you can put in a date. It will default to the current date, like today. And did you succeed? Did you not? You select one of those. And then lastly, on the bottom will be another entry from some kind of description so that or like notes. So in my opinion, we can just copy paste the new dialog, right? And we're going to rename it to, will be log habit entry dialog. All right. And let's look at it. Let's see what we have here because we'll be changing it, right? But we will be reusing a lot of this functionality. I mean, a lot. So of course we'll be tracking if it's open, if it's closing, and this will be log mutation because logging some stuff will be again a mutation. So we have our dialog, habit name. So this is where we are not really putting this in, right? When we call log mutation, though, we will need to know which one we clicked. So we will need to identify the habit. So let's do habit name, because we'll be referring to things via habit name, not any IDs for now. Because remember, we are not sending IDs of habits to the frontend. Frontend just doesn't know. Everything goes by name. So let's continue that way. Again, this is just one person app, so we don't care too much about stuff. And Avnet says hi. Hello to you too. How are you doing? So yeah, set habit name. No, we don't want that. This will be purely a prop. Okay. Habit name will be purely prop. Habit description. That will be something that we need to track and not habit. This will be log description. Because, when we put new log entries, we'll need a description. I wonder if we can just do D for description, right? Set description, and that's it. No other fancy stuff. And besides that, we'll need some kind of date. All right, set date. And the true false for success or not. So will be log value. All right. So will be set log value. There we go. And this will be defaulting to false that we assume you failed. You need to click extra thing to say you succeeded. Okay. And Avnet says, I'm already know how to react. I am not get job. Well, job market isn't fun right now. I'm looking for a job myself, so yeah, but learning some React, I'm filling in some gaps, prepping myself for in a situation not very likely I will need to use React at a new job. I can start up fast and, get around a large project fast. So getting some practice. All right, so date, log value, and description. These are the things that we need to keep track of because these will be our inputs. And then our log mutation will be not save have, it'll be save log, a save pending, a save fail. Let's just keep it as is error, is pending, right? And this will be save log. This way we have a little bit easier way to get around stuff. Okay, so we have taken care of our state. Now this is keeping track of if the window is open or not, right? Okay, so this is our reference to keep figuring out if we need to show stuff. Set habit name. Oh, so whenever we open a thing, we were resetting the state, right? So let's just add a note when opening dialog box, reset inputs. So we'll set the date as nothing. We'll probably get back to date being a different value, but that's in a second. And then we have set description. Everything will be nice and reset. Okay. And Abne says, please give me some advice or some reference. Advice on what? Looking for a job? I don't know if I'm in a place to give an advice because I'm still looking myself. And it's not working great so far. I guess it's just a numbers game. You need to keep applying, hoping that somebody will select you from somewhere. So make sure your resume is attractive, grabbing attention to some extent, and keeping it. I don't know. Alrighty, so this should take care of opening, closing the dialog box. That's great. Is saving initiated? Oh, so this was the thing when we had a situation that we're kind of waiting for the server to get back to us with the fact if saving failed or not. I don't know if we'll need that here, but we might. We'll see. We'll leave it for now. And this was the use effect to actually do some saving. Let's skip that part for now because we will probably need to do stuff. Handle new habit click. So this will be handle log click. This will be for when we hit log, the actual, save button. So this will be save log. And we will need to provide the habit name. Okay, that's one of the things that we need to provide. Then we need to, because, we need to refer to which habit we're actually adding the log to. So then will be date, log value, and description. And date, log value, and description. So this will be date, this will be just value, and this will be description. So actually we shouldn't have it as a description. There should be notes. Notes, set notes. Okay, we already had some typos. There we go. And therefore, here will be notes. Okay, so we'll put in those into the mutation, and then let's go through the dialog. So we have our dialog, we have our header, whatever, the little title bar of the window. So this will be new log, whatever, log entry, whatever. how do we name this? Because the other one was, hey, add new habit. Here we're add new log entry for a habit. Log activity. There you go. Something extremely generic. And Upnet says, I'm not understanding your English. I'm sorry to hear that. I'm not native English speaker myself, so sorry about that. Okay, so we've got this, right? So so this was the closing button that we basically were hiding if it's pending, right? So if it's pending, we don't want to show the close button on the dialog box so that, we don't end up having oopsies. I know that I should also make sure that the dialog can be dismissed. Right now I can hit escape and it's gonna disappear, but this is enough for now. This is just a prototype. So, okay, we've got that, and then we have actually the main window. So how should we tackle this? So on top, we just need to have some kind of date. Oh, we have if it's not pending, we just display this, right? So this is our end everything. Well, if it's pending, so let's of course first switch it to is pending. Then we'll be not saving new habit, we'll be adding new log entry. There we go. So we've got saving taken care of. And Avnet says how to improve my English skills. There are a lot of ways, but you need to keep using it. And I mean, the best way would be to just talk with other people. I know your friends or whatever. Switch to English. Keep speaking English. If you have trouble understanding English when others are talking, watch TV. As in, what I would do, how I learned to understand various accents and all the different ways people speak English, is I just watched the TV series Lost, because every character is from a different part of the world and speaks English in a little bit different way. And it's a great show. So I watched that without subtitles just to force myself to listen instead of read. And after a few episodes, started clicking and I started understanding. So, yeah, that's how I would improve it. Get yourself a TV series Lost and watch without subtitles. Alrighty, so what are we doing here? So originally in the other one we had the name and whatnot. So let's for now have because we don't have anything provided for a date, right? We have sliders, we have option boxes, right? Text boxes and sliders and drop downs. So in theory, we could assemble a date from drop down. We could just throw that in and somehow make it work. I think we're gonna do that. We're going to make a component that displays a few drop downs that will let you select a date. Okay, it's gonna be probably difficult. Probably that's the only thing we're gonna end up doing today. But yeah, we'll see. All right. So for now, let's just say that I just want to have a rough shape of that dialog box showing up so we can view it. So let's maybe do it this way. We're going to roughly have HTML4. This will be new date. Okay. For now, we'll display it as an input box. We're going to change it in a second. Value will be of date and it will be set date. All right. So we've got this dialog box. And we don't care about did save fail and whatnot. We We don't expect any errors. This should be relatively simple. Then we had the text box, which should be on the bottom, which in this case won't be new description, it'll be new notes. And it will be simply notes. And here everywhere will be value of notes and set notes. Okay. So that should be fine. And then on the bottom we have toolbar, which is handle log click. So this will be save. Okay. So that in theory, this should be enough to get it working. I'll ignore this whole use effect thing for now. We'll get to that later. And this is default, not new habit dialog. This will be log habit entry dialog. Habit entry dialog. Maybe one day I'll learn to type. It'll be nice. Okay. And his error is unhappy because it's not used right now, but we'll get there. So consider we have the log habit entry stuff ready. We'll just need to make the main page actually provide all the details here. So let's go here. We don't care about habit data. We have is new habit dialog shown. Oh, are we using that anywhere? Yes, we are. So we need one more. So this is not new habit. This is log entry dialog shown. Okay. What's going on here? Nothing's going on here. Good. All right. So we've got our state for this thing. Now here we have the habit mutation. So let's literally copy paste it, and this will be our not habit. This will be for our log mutation. Okay, and it will take in the habit name. It will take in date. What else did we have there? Value and notes. And it's gonna go not into habit. It will need to go into actually a little bit more complex thing. So this is the API problem, because normally you would have something like, if we want to add something to the habit, we would need to specify which habit. In this case, it will be maybe habit number this. And then, I don't know, log or something, and we post to this. But because we have this situation where I'm not providing the IDs of a habit, this is a bit more complex. So let's do something where we're gonna make an endpoint habit log, and that will accept the logs, and the habit name will be just provided in the JSON. Okay. So let's do habit. We'll just post as this. This will be habit name, right? And then we're gonna do the other entries, right? So it'll be date. We'll have value and notes. That should be good enough here. I'll just have it formatted this way so that it's all in one, tidy. And it was okay. So we error saving habit log. Maybe adding. And on success, we need to invalidate our query here, right? So that makes sense. Okay, so I think for now we have some kind of idea of saving. We are not doing that on a server yet. We want to just get to the point where, we have things somewhat working. rendered habits, and this is where we do everything. So we need to copy our new habit dialog here, and we're gonna do the log habit entry dialog, which we're going to import in a second. Right, there we go. We have a new, there we go. There it is. We'll plop it up here. So is open will be is log entry dialog shown. On close will be set is log entry dialog shown, and habit mutation will be the log mutation. And we need to provide the habit name. Oh, why am I putting it here? Because that will need to go to each of the, what do you call them? So this sounds like I would need to plop it for each of the habit cards, but that will be a lot of copies of the same dialog. And I don't like that part, because each one of the dialogues will have its own properties and whatnot, and that becomes a big mess real fast. But if I want to be able to show something, oh, I know. So, because the thing is that we also need to provide the habit name, right? This is a prop that we need to add. And this maybe let's do selected habit name. How about that? And we're going to make it into, I guess, state for now, because we need to remember it. So let's do constant selected habit and select habit, or whatever, set selected habit, to make it the way React likes to have. So be use state, and by default it will be null, right? We don't have anything selected. Therefore, we can use the selected habit to just let's do selected habit name. Okay. And now this is good here. While something like the cards will need to accept the set selected habit name, and the moment we probably not. So notice that here we have the rendered habits, all the cards, and we are rendering them here. Right now they just have name, last entries, and key. But we also should provide something that will specify the on log or on add log, which will be what do we call whenever the log button gets pressed. So the way I would like it to become is handle new log request, or not request, new log press. Okay, and we're gonna give it that, and we're gonna create it quickly. So maybe after log mutation we have habits and whatever, so let's just plop it here for now. Function handle new log press, and that will be waiting for the habit name. Okay, that's what it needs as an input. And therefore, first it will be set selected habit name to that habit name. Okay. And after that, we can actually change the state of set is log entry dialog shown to true, and that will show the dialog, right? So hopefully this will be enough to just make it work. This way we pass only this thing and everything should go well. So the on add log, we need to go to habit card and actually extend it. So we want the on add log. So when we have the log entry button, we need to do on click, which will be basically on add log or something. Not really. So this should be handle log click. And we're gonna register it here. So new function. Which will be this. Or no, let's not overcomplicate. I guess we can just say that this is a new function that will call handle log. It will call on add log and throw in the name in here because that's the name we're receiving of the habit, and that should be enough. So I guess we have enough to actually try to see if this works. Refresh, and no. Can't access properly length on habit name is null. Oh, in log habit entry dialog. Where is that? Length. Oh, because we have the thingy on the habit that we disable it in some case. Let's not do that. We don't need that functionality. There we go. Now it worked. So if I'm gonna click here, we have on add log is not a function. Really. So we clicked inside of our, oh, we didn't save main page, that's why. Refresh. Click. There we go. We have log activity. Right now we have name, which we don't care about because we will make it into a date selector. And then we have notes, which will be our notes, and they should work. This actually works right now too, but whatever. And in the middle, we'll need to select success or not. What's going on here? I'm getting like trillion notifications. Okay, we're good. And I can do that. And it would be nice if it would also say the name. So maybe on top we can say just the name of the habit or something like that. In our dialog, just for fun, on top we're gonna do div with just the name of the thing, which will be habit name. There we go. Save it, and let's see if it actually works. Eat breakfast, beautiful. I guess we need to add the thing. This starts to look like we need flexbox with this margin bottom applied as some kind of gap, but we'll live without that. This will be eat breakfast and all that. So we know that we need that one extra field, which will be, I guess, checkbox. Checkbox, right? So we can do yet another checkbox just to have the a way to select if it's success or not. So we can throw this in here. I wonder if we should make it as a div again with the same style. Yeah, let's do that. And we'll have our input, which is unhappy right now because we're not closing it. There we go. So type checkbox ID. I don't. Sure. And this will be HTML4. So this will be the log value. All right. And did whatever. Habit fulfilled. I think it's 1L. Huh. Fulfill. Yeah, 1L. Beautiful. And now we just need the value of it. And that was, I believe, checked. So in here we'll have the checked to be log value. While on change, I guess, how did it work? I forgot. Let's start to that. We get the event, which will be set log value, and the value will be provided as e.target.checked, I guess. I presume. Let's see if this works. I mean, it saves it, right? So that seems to work. Alrighty, good. Progress. So next we'll be tackling the new entry thingy, date entry. So this is gonna be a little bit more complex. So finally, we need to create a new component, and this will be a date selector. Okay. And we can grab something simple to use as an example. This would be date selector. And I guess it could select a date either as an actual JavaScript date, which will be kind of nice, or we can go with something simple and just provide it as a normal, like a string format in a specific way. But maybe a date would be better, right? Hello, CPN. Hey, hi, I was watching that Zig video and I just saw you streaming. Yep. I was like, morning means right now React and Dart, right? So that's what I'm doing every morning until I finish that project. Yeah, with the Zig, it was kind of fun. I learned a lot. At the end, I was getting tired, but I think I really enjoyed that book. That book is fun. It's nice and in depth. But yeah, Zig will, that will take time. Alrighty, so habit visualization. We're not doing any of that. So for now, what do we need to provide into the date selector? So I guess it will be just the date. Right, that will be date, and then we have basically on date change or something to call. And that will be good enough for entries for the date. We don't worry about, what's the limit of stuff, whatnot. Let's just have that first. And CPN says, yeah, should have started with Zigbug. I could, but I also, just having multiple sources at the same time kind of gives you more context, right? Because the Ziglings, everything was real simple. Already learned some practical things. Then a little bit of the book, and you have a little bit of theory stuff. So I think it was a good combination. Okay, so here we don't want to just have the field set. We want to go on and let's see how to do the dropdown with like 5 options. Because by default, first option will be selected. You can change this by giving the option elements the selected attribute. So let's see. All right. Well, here we don't have that. Does it mean that I will actually need to re-render that? with the proper selected option? I guess. So let's just grab that and see how we can mix it into here. So this is field set and whatnot. Oh, a field set was with like a legend, which was the name on top. And then some other stuff and some other stuff. Let's just make it a simple div for now. Simple div that will contain multiple select boxes eventually, all right? So we have our option here with stuff. I want to see what it looks like when we just render it. So inside of our habit entry dialog, we can just throw it in here. So we've got a habit name on top, and this is where we have the text for now. So let's just do date selector. Okay. We won't provide anything inside of it yet. It doesn't matter. We just have the date selector. I just want to see it work. So we've got this option, right? And looks like we can already select stuff, so it kind of updates itself automatically. Okay. Great. Or not so great. Absolutely incredible. Okay. Perfect. So now we need to figure out how to actually make it more reactive or something. I mean, first of all, we would need 3 of them. One for a year, one for a month, and one for a day. Okay? Let's see if this just magically works. Kind of not. So let's try to do something like yeah, let's do style. And this will be our whatever flex. How was that supposed to be done in? I don't remember how to do that in pure CSS. Let's just do that. I need a flex row keeps all items in a row flex box. Items are centered, whatever, align vertically to the center. That's all. Pure CSS, please. It was display flex, right? So we have display flex and align items to the center. There we go. Perfect. All those little things that the person forgets over time. That's what Tailwind does to you. So this will be flex, and then we have align items to the center. Espion says, what's the size of the CSS file that makes the site look like Windows 95? Let's see. Do they even talk about it? Maybe they just give us the answer. But no. Can we inspect it in the browser? Something like sources. Oh, this is a weird browser, right? Storage, that won't be it. Yeah. Vector console debugger, network style editor. Nope. Seriously, this does not have sources? I guess that's Firefox for you, right? Let's do it this way. In index HTML, we're downloading this, right? So if I'm gonna go in the browser to a new tab, paste this in, we just load it out, save it, and whatever. Downloads, why not? Go to downloads and what the hell do I have in downloads? Sure. Let's see. So 98 thingy is 27 kilobytes. Okay. There's the answer. 27 kilobytes. A lot. I mean, minified or whatever, the compressed, I guess it will be smaller, but it's 27 kilobytes. Ouch. So, okay, so we've got them all in the same line. That's great. I don't care about wrapping right now. This is supposed to be simple, and we'll have less to select here anyway. So we'll need to put in some kind of, like, we're gonna hard code some values into it first. So for something like a year, we'll, I don't know, do 2020, 2021, and let's just copy this. 2, 3, 4. Wow, so many years since 2020. And 5 for now. Okay, we're gonna have 5 as selected. And that already is nicer. Beautiful. I mean, too bad it doesn't show up as that in Windows 98 actual dropdown, but we'll live with that, all right? Then we need to have months. Oof. So we'll do January, or maybe actually 3-letter things, right? February. There we go. Now we grab this. Please fill in rest of the months. Okay. And then for the day, this will be the tough one because this is something that will be changing depending on this entry. But for now, let's just have numbers from 1, 2, and oof. We have this finished. Okay. And here, I guess we could just make a simple for loop or something. So let's say that I want to do a for loop, which means I will need to map. So I would need to have a list of days, right? Map. And when we map over it, we want to return those HTML elements, which will be, I guess, this will be the day. There we go. And that should let us just display them. So now all we need is the list of days. So for here, we're just gonna say constant list of days is, and how the hell was the array creation? Quick way to create array of elements from 1 to 31 in JS. I'm sure there's a way just to tap in from here to here and bam. Array from length. Oh, and then we need to increase it by 1. Huh. Or array 31 and map the same way. Let's just do this and call it a day for now, all right? Because it looks like we'll be able to update it depending on the number of days per month. And that could be good enough. So let's see. There we go, a year, let's say, month, and a day. Beautiful. Very, very unfriendly, but it should work. So yeah, I mean, the goal is kind of to make it unfriendly because of the way it looks. But at the same time, we can use some more modern practices to make it not as bad. I don't know. I'm kind of torn between the two to make it as not fun. And CPN says it's already minified, seems. Yeah, what I meant is like not minified, but gzipped. Gzipped is probably gonna decrease its size drastically. Okay, so we've got this, but now, how do you get number of days? Because there must be. How can I quickly get a number of days per specific month of a specific year in JavaScript? I'd prefer to avoid pulling in dependencies. Let's see what it will make out of that. So use the date constructor with the day 0 to get the last day of the previous month. Oh, I didn't know you can do that. Oh. So we can basically say that, hey, get days in a month is you provide a year, you provide a month, you create basically the date of year, month, and 0 for the day, get a date out of that, and there you go. What? Get date? And that returns a number. Hey, that could work. So that means we just need a state for which year, a state for which month. And by supplying that, we'll be able to just get a like re-render list, proper list. Hold it as a number, and just in case when we re-render, we'll keep the same number as selected. And that should be it. Okay, I think I have an idea of how it's supposed to work. Alrighty, so we'll need to import our use state and whatnot, which will be import use state from. Do we want to use it as use state? Because the component itself, it will be reporting the date, so we will be getting it from the props. So probably not. We don't want to use state. We want to recalculate everything every time from scratch. So if we have a date, we can basically extract that constant. Oh no, we actually don't have to. So let's say constant number of days. We can do something very similar. So this will be, so what this suggested, wait, where did it go? Oh, I had another one here. I have a lot of chats going on. So it was basically, create a new date and get date, and that should return the number somehow. Get date. I absolutely hate dates in JavaScript. So we create a new date, which we should extract from the date.year. Constant the date is date. And I want to say that How the hell was to put in a type? Date. Will suggest that this is type date? Constant, yes. So I should get some kind of the date dot get date will gets the day of the month. Oh, using local time. Day of the week, full year. Gets the year using local time. There we go. So get full year. All right. It'll be get month. There we go. And I guess this will return a number. Yes. And we put in 0. And that should be the last day. Therefore, this should get us the number. So now we can just do date. There we go. All right. So we have number of days calculated. Therefore, we can plop it here. Okay. And there we go. We should, in theory, have it. Now we just need to figure out how to actually do all this fun stuff. Yeah, so maybe we'll actually do constant year is this, just so that we have it extracted once and we can reuse it. Then we've got the month, which is this part. So we can actually just do year, month. Beautiful. And let's get rid of all the semicolons. All right. CPS says, what if I secretly use Solid in a job where I'm supposed to use React? I think I'll be able to get away with it because of how similar it looks. I guess if you're owning a project, that could work, but there'll be always differences, and somebody needs to pull an entire thing. And the first thing they do is open the package JSON to figure out what they're dealing with. So, not sure if it's possible to pull off. I guess you're the only one. Nobody looks at your code. Okay, so we'll need to basically do the similar thing because we have list of days to display. Okay, but we also need to do a list of years. So constant list of years, which will be, okay, so number of days. Okay, so we can do something similar. So we'll just do array from, and we'll say that the length is how many years we want to display. Let's say we'll do 5. We want to display last 5 years. If you want to log something from further than that, well, you've got a problem. And that then will need to be upgraded a little bit by taking the current year minus 5 years and adding an I to it. Something like that. And this should, I guess, generate a nice list for us. So we can do something very similar like here. All right, where we have a map of a list of years. This will be year. And let's see if it actually works. Oof, nope. Can't access properly, get full year. Date is undefined. Oh, because we're not putting in date yet. Of course not. So let's just get list of months. And this will be just 12. And we do the same thing because we went from 1 to 12. And here we'll need to just do the mapping of actually changing it from, into something of this sort. SPN says, I think it would be better UX if you let the user enter date manually. Typing 2 numbers is easier than scrolling through a list taller than the screen. Yes, it will be easier. But at the same time, this lets me make a challenge of making a component, which is, exercise within the React. This whole app is an exercise. And it looks very Windows 98-like, where everything is kind of click, scroll, that not fun mechanic. Because I'm already getting a challenge. Okay, I need to kind of figure out that on date change, this will be happening whenever I change any one of those. And I need to handle those. Assemble the thing, send entire new date, which will be saved elsewhere. So I guess I need to go into our log habit entry dialog. And date should be a new date. That will be our initial state, right? We have an actual date. But wait, was it returning a date? I recall that there was some weird issues with that. Date dot now. Wait, that was a function or not? This just gives us a number, right? So it was new date of date now. I think that was the thing or something. Go figure, all right? Now it says it's a date, so it should be fine. So if we have the date of now, we track it as a state. We should be able to at least provide it as date is date. Okay. Now maybe we'll be at least able to display it. Log entry. Oh no. Let's just reset. Yep. Date get full year is not a function. Really. What are we providing in there? Because let's do. How do I get today's date as a date in JS? Because this is like super weird. And Sipen says, all right, gotta go now. See you later. See you later. Take care as always. This is new date. Just today's date at midnight. Today ISO string. I don't care about ISO string. Today's date only. So, okay. So I guess I could do just date, right? Hopefully. Let's see if this just works. I remember having issues with that. Yeah, get full year is not a function. Where's our documentation here? Date. So we've got new date and whatnot. We have set time. Now parse, UTC, all that fun stuff. We have get date, get full year. Well, it exists here as a function, so something's not right. Yeah, we create a new date and we can just get a full year out of that. So why doesn't it work? Can I just use a console here? So let's do constant date is new date. So what happens? Well, let's say date. It holds a date, right? And date dot get full year. I mean, it seems to work here. So what am I doing wrong? I didn't save date selector. That's the first thing. So get full year from the date. And that complains about not being a function. While in our dialog, we provide it straight away, right? Date, yep. And date is the new date. Unless your state has problem with dates. We set it in here. Date selector, date is date. So maybe that's the problem, that it just can't deal with it. Yeah, because it's not a function. Does React prop or use state have issues holding dates? No direct issues, really. With props. And this is, I mean, TypeScript way, right? New date. Mutation doesn't trigger re-renders. Really? I mean, mutating. We will need to overriding. Yeah, new date instance. So that doesn't help us. Where is the bug? So can we just print a date? Console log current state of date is, and we just put in date. How about that? We'll do the same thing inside the date selector. And we're just gonna say receive date is this thing. And let's see what happens when we switch here. Let's refresh. So current state of date, we have everything nice, right? Now received date looks like we also received the date. So that sounds right. Okay. When we click on that, we still have all that, but suddenly current state of date is empty. Received date is empty. Ooh, whoa, what the heck? Why is that happening? Oh, I think I know. There we go. So, oh, this is funny. We have this thing when opening the dialog box, we reset inputs. So we need to just say new date here, and that's it. That's gonna fix the issue. Refresh. Oh, now it works. This doesn't show good stuff yet, but our date is just in case we see it here, right? But yeah, okay, so we're able to receive it. We're not displaying correct one yet, but we know that for that date is 31 days. Really. Date. Or calendar. Yep, looks like this month is 31 days. If we are already calculating that. Don't know. Oh, and we're displaying it, yeah, still the old way. Okay. So, yeah, this is good. Good progress. So now let's continue with our date selector. Because we get the current year, we get the current month, and I guess constant day is date.getDate. Okay, that's the current day. So we've got all those set. List of years, list of months, and list of days. These are all calculated properly, hopefully. So now we just need to make sure that we display the current years, which is correct. Oh, no, we're not displaying the current one. So I guess we are supposed to subtract 4. And now we get proper number of years. Beautiful. Last 5 years. Okay. This is gonna be 12 different months. And now with months, we get to the problem where we want to display a label like this. But when we select it, we want to get a proper number. So how do we deal with select in React? Let's see if we have any docs. Go to React. Let's do select. There we go. The built-in browser select component lets you render a select box with options. So value some option. And then how we're displaying it. So looks like we can provide separate values. So to display a select box rendered with built-in browser select, we have props. Select supports common element props like value, a string or an array of strings for multiple true, controls which option is selected. Every value string match the value of some option nested inside the select. Okay, so we could, in theory, already use it here. Value is what? Year. Okay. And if we were to suddenly make larger number of years, let's say 10 years back and some in the future, right? We're going to refresh it, log entry. It selects 2025, even though we have other elements. So that's great. If I were to say that current year is this minus 2 years, it should do 2023. There you go, 2023 is the selected one. No matter what we select, it resets to that. Okay, that works. So we'll get to month in a second, and then with a day, we can do the same thing, right? Where select value is day. Save that, and we'll say today is 7th, no matter what. Okay. Wow, this is moving fast. So now let's figure out the days, because we need to map them like a little bit differently. I mean, the months. So that's the value. When you pass value, you must also pass, the onChange handler that updates the passed value. So I guess we're gonna receive the value of whatever it was. If your select is uncontrolled, you may pass the default value prop instead. Default value, a string for an array of strings, or that specifies the initially selected option. Okay, so that's if it's uncontrolled, as in we can just select whatever and it's not tied to anything. Okay, and these select props are relevant both for uncontrolled and controlled select boxes. Autocomplete a string. Yeah, a string specifies one of the possible autocomplete behaviors, autofocus, children, disabled, form, multiple, name, and we have onChange, an event handler. So that's great. OnChange capture, a version of OnChange that fires in a capture phase on input, on invalid, if it's required, and size, a number to specify the preferred number of initially visible items. Okay. Caveats, unlike in HTML, passing a select attribute to option is not supported. Instead, use the select default value. Okay, good to know. And if select the box receives value prompt, it will be treated as controlled. Yep, select box can't be both uncontrolled or controlled. Select box cannot switch between being controlled and not. And every controlled select box needs an on-change event. Okay. And Taos is asking how React is holding. Pretty good. We're doing this date selector now. So yeah, it's kind of fun. I don't know why I'm enjoying making a date selector. Maybe because it's actually not going that badly. So each one of those will need to have its own on-change. So we function on year change, right? We'll do something here. We'll have function on month change and function on day change. They will all be pretty similar, and they will basically call on date change. They will just need to create a new date to apply. All right, so these were the caveats, right? Usage is displaying selected box with options. Yeah, so the whole idea is that we can have separate value and separate, separate display thing. So I guess, I mean, the easiest option, like instead of recalculating that, doing like mapping, I can literally just hard code it here, because I don't think it's gonna change soon that we have different number of months in a year, right? Just value. Okay. Wait, value should be here. They're providing string. Can I provide actual numbers so that I don't have any weird issues? Let's just do this and paste it here. It'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on. Let's see what the hell's going to happen. If we're gonna go here, we have July selected for some reason. Oh no, it's still not tied, right? So we need to do select where the value is a month. Let's see if that works. It sets it to July every time, but we have August. Wait a moment. August 07. 7 is July. Wait, August. Oh, so confusing. Let's display, because maybe months are, it wasn't this weird thing where months were 0 indexed in JavaScript for some reason. Month number. And we'll just do the month. And month number is 7. Yes, so months are 0 indexed. Taz says, Moment.js. I like how this watches as a detective movie. Yes, it is. Finding clues why this works in this weird way. So yes, I'm not switching moment. I'm trying to like pull in the least number of dependencies, because I don't see a value of bringing an entire library just for a few instances of dealing with dates. Okay, so list of months shouldn't be from 1 to 12. Let's do from 0 to 12. And maybe that'll work. Wait, did I save it? I did. Refresh. We still get July for some reason. Oh, yes, because of course. So we don't need a list of months anymore. That's the first thing. We just need to change all of those. This is when new event will come in handy. Just update them automatically. But at the same time, this doesn't take as much time. This looks so weird. Tess says, how would you know which year has 29 days in February? Or you can just say if today is February 29, you can declare it as a fake day. I could, but actually, this is not that bad. I can get rid of this so that we can actually have some space. So the way to do it is, where'd it go? Oh, right here. So you can get a number of days in a month by creating a new date with a specific year, specific month, and then specifying a day as 0. 0 will give you the last day of the month. And then you just extract the day of the month. And magically have numbers of days in that specific month. So, yeah. All right, so this should work now, and they should work as well. The only thing is that we'll need to kind of update it to work correctly, because now we'll probably have a situation that if we select a month with 31 days and then switch to a different month that has a different number of days, we might get some kind of weird situation. So, yeah, this is gonna be a fun thing to handle. Okay, let me just see if this worked. As in, yes, we have August and we're tied to August. So today's date is displayed correctly. All right. Now we can start handling the changes. So we can basically put in for each one of those on change. On change will be basically on year change, where we specify the event. I mean, sure, E for event, target value, I guess. Ooh. And we can do the same thing for all the other ones. Just update the on month change. And here will be on day change. Something tells me they will all call into the same thing eventually. But let's think about it. So the goal of each one of those is to create a new date that is, I guess, correct, and pass it on to by calling on date change that will update the actual date. Okay, so when we change the year, the months won't change, but the number of days in a specific month may change. I mean, this is only regarding February, right? Because depending on a year, it has different number of months. So that's the weird part. On month change, the days will change. So basically, no matter which we select, either year or month, we need to make sure that our day doesn't exceed the number of days in that specific month. And So I guess we can simply try to make it, I think we can make a single function for that. Function on date, whatever. Change date, okay? We give it year, new month, and new day, okay? We'll give it all those three. And each one of those will just trigger the same thing differently. We'll just say change date. So we can probably just do it this way. Change date to be, if we're changing the year, so, new year, new month, and new day. So we change date with the new year, an existing month, and existing day. All right. And this just doesn't like this syntax, so let's just go on with the regular one. Why not? Ugly, but it works. And Tara says date is date time. Yes, you are correct. Date is date time. Dates are really bad in JavaScript. Okay, this will be just normal year, but the new month. And here will be normal year, normal month, but new day. Okay, so whenever we calculate a new date, we need to basically go from left to right, I guess. So let me think. So we will want to calculate the number of days. So new number of days will be basically very similar here, which we create a new year, new month, and the last thing. So this will tell us how many days there are in the new selected year and month, just in case. And then if new day is larger than the new number of days, we'll basically need to say, hey, new day is new number of days. And that's it. This way we're going to cap it, and we're not going to change the day. And therefore, we can return, not even return, we'll just call whatever constant new date will be new date, and value number string, year, month, index, they call it, and date number. And then hours and minutes, we're going to set to 0, I guess. So it'll be new year, new month, and new day. And then we'll do 0, 0, 0, 0. There we go. And then with that new date, we can basically say on date change we'll call basically the new date. Okay, and that hopefully will take care of updating everything. We'll see. And Tara says, they are bad everywhere. Dates are very complex. I wouldn't trust anyone to write date time code for me. Not even myself. Yeah. Yep. For some reason, like for humans, when we think about it, for us, it's like so easy. Oh, this and that, and edge cases just take care of themselves. But no, computers are, nope. So I did this. Oh, error, on date change is not a function. Really? I guess we haven't provided it. Yeah, we just didn't. On date change will be set date, and that should fix the entire thing. So let's just close it, restart, log entry, and let's actually do this. Okay, worked. So let's go to let's say April. That works. It changes. Beautiful. Now we're gonna change the day. And okay, you can see it reset the stuff. It's all local time, whatever, doesn't matter. Great. That works. So what if we're gonna go to number 31? No, it switched to March 2nd. Of course. What the heck? April 31st. Switches you to the next day of May. Okay. Okay, that is confusing. Time and time zones. I'm thinking about that, but when I create a date, I believe it's new local date. Creates a new date. Or maybe not. But notice that when I create a new date, okay, like by default, it shows Eastern Daylight Time. I change number. I still have Eastern Daylight Time. Time is 0. So it's midnight. It's just right. It selects proper day every time. 7th, 11th, 30th, and 31st just, oh, now it worked. Look at that. It worked this time. I was able to select last thing. I go somewhere here. It resets to random stuff. April. This works. This works. 30th works. 31st changes things. So yeah, this is very strange. Tess says, yeah, time and time zones saying hello to you. Yep, it probably takes current time and time zones and then translates itself into some kind of random stuff. Yeah, so I'm thinking about avoiding the whole issue because, I mean, it's nice to deal with those date times as in calculate stuff for us. But in practice, I often, the moment I don't need actual hours and stuff, I just simply transfer strings or numbers instead of the date object because it's so confusing. Andreas says the string show is just text representation of specific timestamp, the way you want it, but it's not necessarily the same as date object. Avoiding might not work without proper API. Yeah. I mean, another option would be to just do everything convert to UTC. What if I'm gonna say that the hour is 1? Will that change the behavior? So let's refresh, go to log entry, and select 5th, 11th, 31st. Okay, we changed the month, and suddenly we gone to a 3rd, which is absolutely crazy. So looks like one part of the code doesn't work. Our detection of number of days is just wonky. I mean, I was able to select 28th. Gonna go to April, 28th state, 29th, 30th, and 31st for April just doesn't work. For other months, it works. Something tells me that the month is getting wonky during the calculation in here. In the change date, this thing gets screwed up. Something regarding the months. Like, when we say new number of days, we specify date, new year, new month, which in theory is one of those numbers. So it's from 0 to 11. So it should be fine. And the last day. I mean, exact same code works here. And February is the one that has less, right? February shows 31 days. Okay, so we've got an error here. March has 28 days. So there's a problem. So when we create a new date and we provide a month, it gets the month. But we know that the month is one number smaller already. So when we call that, this is being called with, let's say, if we get February, this will be number 1. This is mighty confusing. And Has says, you don't want you to see, you just don't deal with it. But how do you know April 31st is a proper date? So yeah, we just uncovered that this is not being set properly. So something tells me when we set a new date with all those entries, it sets it differently than without those entries. I'm gonna refer to AI to just get like a clear answer on this. I noticed that in JavaScript, the month in date objects is 0 indexed. But I'm getting some discrepancies, whatever, when reading dates. It's as if in some cases month is 0, indexed, and in some it's not. Can you point out those differences? So let's see, maybe we'll learn something good. Here, encountering a common JavaScript gotcha. The inconsistency comes from different APIs handling months differently. Let's break down the key areas where this happens. So here are the key areas. So core date API is always 0 indexed. The date, with 0 is January. 11 is December. The get month returns 0 to 11. Set month sets to June, okay? String parsing is 1 index. I don't care about that. And display formatting methods are 1 indexed. Legacy versus modern APIs. Future is temporal. Don't care. Oops, what did I just click? Common pitfalls. So no, it looks like whatever we're doing is fine. And that says write your own local date or import moment. I want to work with the current one. I mean, it works mostly. We just have that one issue to solve. So initially month we're getting as a 0 index. We verified that. Number of days that are being displayed just uses that. So let's throw in some logging, because there's nothing better in life other than adding some logging. So I want to specify that maybe we'll actually do this. Red date, what a red month is, we'll just do it this way. Red month is Even better. Input month will be month. What else is there? Calculated number of days is number of days. And then lastly, I want to get num of days date is this thing. What did this calculate? Which month did it calculate to? Because maybe 0 just turns out to change things. So let's just refresh the whole thing from scratch. We click here. So we have at the end the input month 7, number of days 31, and number of days it says it's July. Look at that. So what the hell? Why did it go backwards to a different month suddenly? It's as if it actually read this as that. Oh, I know. So probably when we set to 0 instead of 1, it goes 1 month backwards. So if we increase the month by 1 and this to 0, we're going to end up having a proper thing. It's just this might... What's going to happen if I'm going to set this thing? Because if I'm going to do, let's say, a new date, okay? And we'll say 2025, let's say April, okay? Sorry, April will be 5. And what the hell? June? What? 20th. Why? Oh, sorry. 3 is April, right? 3 is April. 20th, 25th, 30th, 31st goes to the next day, right? 32, so it just adds to those days. So got 30th. And then what if I'm gonna go to 11? That's December. What if I'm gonna go to 12? So it adds and goes into January 30th, 2026. So they just kind of keep adding. Even though I'll go 40 days here, it's gonna go all the way to February. Okay, so that's good. That means that if we have 11 here, we're gonna do the 1st. If we're gonna go 0, it's gonna go to like -1 day, right? November 30th. So if we're gonna do 12-0, we're gonna go December 31st. Okay, so we can just do and overlap those. That means that we can simply say a number of days is month plus 1, and 0 walk 1 day backwards. Okay. And then the same thing will be here. Number of days is new month plus 1, 0. And that should fix stuff. So let's refresh. We have correct date. Apparently there are 31 days. We're gonna go to February and we see that we have 28 days. I click 28th, it's good. I go to April, I select day 30th, and it works. Okay, I select May and 1st, and it works. And I can probably remove the random 1 and set it to 0, and it's gonna all work. So 21 April 30th works. I switch to February, and it didn't update correctly because it's split that to March, but we're not gonna get there. We are going to get there. Okay, so we're not having one of the issue anymore. So that's good. And Taz says mostly works is sign of bad design. Well, we just found a bug, so let's call it a decent enough design, just a bug of weird quirks of stuff. Okay, but yeah, the API is just horrible. Alrighty, so we've got that part. So now the change date is just wrong. On a date change, we call change date with existing year, existing month, and a new day. So what we are doing is, hey, get a number of days in that new month, which could have changed, right? So it would change to February, which will be 1. And we get how many days in February? Okay, that should be fine. So if the new day is larger than the number of days, we change it. But when we create a new date, it didn't. So what's going on here? Let's just remove some of the logging because it just pollutes everything. And let's figure it out. So we can do console log, and we're gonna say, change date. I'm gonna say new year, new month, and new date or day. Okay, that's what we're getting. And then we're gonna say console log, and let's do expect whatever, new number of days. We're gonna throw that in here, okay, because that's the next thing. We just calculated it, and it should make sense. And then basically, let's do it this way. And we're gonna say console log changing new day to a new number of days. And just in case, we're gonna throw this in here. Changed new day to bam, right? It should work. So then new date is this. So console log new date. And I mean, that's it. So let's debug this process. What is happening? So when we started, it current, where did the changes go? Did we even log those? So we're gonna change this from 7 to 31. So we have new year is 2507 and new day is showing out as a string 13. Okay. Object, new number of days is 31, right? Because for August, we're expecting to have 31 days. And we're not changing anything, just new date is this. All right. So let's select to 31. Okay. Beautiful. Great. It's all good. Now let's switch to something like February. Bam. And what happened here? So new month is 1. Notice that the month just changes to a string, which is very confusing. And new day is 31. Number of days is 30. So we changed it to 30. Okay. And somehow we set it to March 2nd. What the heck? Why? We are setting new day, right? Not anything else. So why would the new month and this set it to something different? So first of all, let's just make sure that when we set a new month or whatnot, we are not sending it to a string. So I guess this is it. When we call on month change, on year change, we are setting it to a string because that's how HTML works. So the new year, we could parse it as integer, right? Parse integer. Okay. And we'll do the same thing in those two spots. just to be sure. I don't think this would cause any errors, but maybe it does. Because it's JavaScript, anything can happen with dates. Okay, that works. That works. That works. We can change things correctly. 31st and go to February. And oh, now it worked. Look at that. This might have fixed because I guess we were comparing this as strings and things were going wonky. So yeah, 30. Let's go to, I don't know, 2020 and go to February and we have 29 days. Oh, 2021 and February has 28 days. Look at how it updated. Okay, we fixed the problems. And December 31 still is good. We changed to a different year. Nothing changes. We changed to something like February. It changes to 28. Beautiful. And other numbers stay the same. Okay. Fixed. It works. Okay, so we have this working. Hopefully. Hopefully there are no more edge cases. And just like that, we can just use date selector to get an actual date out of it. So yeah, this was quite an adventure, in my opinion. So now what do we do with this data? We have the date, value, and notes, which is great. And now we should be able to simply upload it, right? Because we can save log. And in my opinion, we don't really have to, I mean, if the error happens, what do we want to do? Because we want to send it to the server. Server should accept it, even if it overrides the existing log, in my opinion. So, let's think. When the error happens, we probably just want to return to the existing dialog without losing anything and just show an extra thing like, hey, an error have happened. So I guess at the end of the day, we need this whole is saving initiated, current, it's pending, did save fail, just to be able to maintain the whole dialog box without closing it and resetting it. So is saving initialize this is pending and is error. So if it's pending and is error, if it's not pending and is error, we set to false. So it's finished. If it's not pending and it's not error, oh, so if it's error, we do that. We do close it, and that's it. So it's pending and is error. And therefore, if it's error, we're just gonna throw in something on top. So let's see. It's pending. We don't need this text box anymore. We'll just throw in is error. And if it's error, we're gonna just say I don't know, failed to save. That's it for now. I don't feel like really creative right now. I will just add the style so that it somewhat works. Again, we would need to use like a flex box to make it work nice, but oh well. And we have it closed, and that's it, right? That should work. That says, yeah, maybe restrict past years and future years. Yeah, I can fix that. That was like the debugging thing. So we have 5, and that will basically restrict it to last 5 years. And that's it. And for future dates in this current year, I'll let it be this way. I don't care. do whatever you want. If you're planning to to succeed in your habits, you can input it ahead. Okay. Let's just remove that those console logs. They're just ew, 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 ew. There we go. All right. So we've got to our error displaying. So now we can probably handle it descending. So in our, what was it? Main page, we have the mutation defined, right? Log mutation. So it expects to send it to habit/log. And it should send the date, should send the value and notes. I really wonder how on earth it's going to send a date, because we might want to simply format it as a little bit different thing that maybe is, I don't know, but from the perspective of frontend should just send the data the way it wants to, roughly, like just a date. And we don't want to try to make it SurrealDB compatible at this point. It doesn't matter, but we'll see how we deal with dates in Dart. That's something we haven't done yet. So we just need to add the endpoint habit log as a post request. So let's do that. So I guess we'll be adding a new thing. So in our API, we go to new folder, habit. Whoa, not habit. And we can copy this one, paste it in here, and name it as log. So this is our habit log. So on request, we want to handle only the post requests. Okay. And this will be on post log. Something very simple. So we actually don't need this one because we already have a template for a post. So it should go fast on post log. All right. And therefore we have stuff. So on post log. And this is where I think we're gonna finish just by receiving the data and logging here in Dart because it's getting late, and we're gonna handle it on a database end tomorrow. So on post log, we get the response, and this is where we can extract stuff because we need to extract habit name, we need to extract some other stuff. So how is it sending? It just sends habit as the name. So we habit date value nodes. So we habit date value nodes. Date value and nodes. So habit name is here. Then we have the new whatever log date, we'll call it. Do we have date time? We have date time. Let's see if that works. Then we have log value, which will be a boolean. Okay. And notes, which will be a string. And that's it. All right. So we should receive those, and we are going to skip all the database stuff for now. What we're gonna do is simply what is print received. Let's do received new log for habit name. And we're gonna say log date, whatever date is, and we'll have the log date. Then we're gonna have value, log value. And lastly, we'll have notes, which will be notes. And hopefully this is enough. And then we're just gonna send response is all okay. And we'll call it a day. All right. If we have a problem extracting the values, of course, it will be error 400. So let's see if this just magically works. I'll hit something. Oh, we're still logging the current state of date. Where is this thing? There we go. No more. Refresh. Oh, our server is not happy. Yeah. So something tells me the server just crashed or something. Because rogue root detected. Renamed this to this. Okay, so that's what I was kind of expecting, that the moment we put a directory, it wants us to move this one into the directory and rename it to index, so that we have, like, we don't have a folder and a Dart file named like that folder. So that's the fun of routing with file name based stuff. Creates edge cases. Okay, so this restarted. Okay, we're good. Log entry for today, habit fulfilled. Yay. Save. Okay, so the post went, but it says bad request. Let's just make sure that this went to where it's supposed to. We don't need this guy. Network. So this went to where? Request. It sent the correct data, but I think it tried to send to, where is it? Localhost 8080. So that's good. All right, that's good. Let's see the server. It just like, nope. So I guess, what was the return? It's your fault. Response, it's your fault. Okay. So it looks like we failed to extract something. Okay. Can we capture the actual error? And like throw in error dot, do we have something in here like a message or something? How do I get anything from the error? To string? Will that work? No effect. Something tells me this won't be happy because unnecessary braces and a string interpolation. Great. Nazi linter. Let's try again. Same thing. Type string is not subtype of type datetime. Okay, so basically what is happening is that JavaScript sends the date as a string, so we can just accept it as a string for now, call it a day, and we'll do some transformations afterwards. We save it, and we get type bool is not subtype of type bool. Oh, okay. So that's a classic case of string being capitalized, but everything else is not. Save, and now it worked. And therefore on this end, we got that, hey, date is this, true and notes, right? So I could log entry, change the date to something like February 28th, whatever, not fulfilled, save, and it worked. And we have 28th, there we go. Time is 5 because of random time zones, but that's something that we'll be able to strip out. And then we've got value false, notes, this. This is good, but I think it will be beneficial for us to change how we're sending the date to the server, because the server inherently is supposed to only handle dates, not date times. So we should send a date, in my opinion, rather than date time. And we can just do a simple format, right? So in our mutation, right, when we're sending it, let's not just send date. Let's send stuff differently. So we're gonna split it to something like this, and date will be, we just need to format it, right? So oh, this is gonna be disgusting like that, but maybe it's gonna just be good enough. Date dot get full year. Okay. And do you want like this imitation where we need to convert it? Let's actually not do that. Let's make it where we are already expecting the date to be a string whenever we send it to mutation. Therefore, in our change, where is it? This is habit entry dialog, right? For our date selection, date selector, yeah, we will let it to just send us a date. That's fine. On date change, we do set state of date. And then we have handle log click, where we save the log and we provide date. So let's strip that date, turn it into string all the way here. So let's do date string will be date dot get full year. There we go. Dash date get month. Okay. +1 because it's JavaScript. And then it will be date get date, because that's get date gets you a day. Yeah. And that's our string, and we just throw it in here. There we go. That looks a bit nicer than putting it there. So where do we have it here? Refresh, log entry, I know, 2023, March 3rd. Save. And we received it as, there we go, beautiful date that we can then split and actually process properly for the database, because we don't have any extra confusing information about time zones. And because everything in the browser works in a single time zone, we won't have situations like, oh, this is in the future, this is in the past. Like, let's say for some reason your time zones shift things. Here when receiving, we could have, get a day shifted in some wrong direction because of some random edge case. In this case, we just get a proper date. I don't care about having zeros or not. Here we'll be just parsing into integers, if we will, in the first place. And that's pretty much it. So that'll be that. And yeah, I guess we received the data on the server side. So I'll be finishing here, and that's it. All right. I'm happy with the result. So yeah, thank you everyone for watching, and I hope you learned something just like I did, and see you tomorrow.